We welcome in Golf Channel senior writer Ryan Lavner and Joel Beale. Joel is a Golf Digest senior writer and also the author of a new book, Playing Dirty, Rediscovering Golf's Soul in Scotland in an Age of Sports Washing and Civil War. And I can tell you I highly recommend that one from Joel. Joel, I want to start with you. Just looking at that Joel Dahmen footage yesterday, there's just been ongoing conversation in golf now for several weeks, initiated by Colin Morikawa in terms of the obligations or responsibilities golfers have to talk in tough moments afterwards. Was that a reminder yesterday that these are the moments that actually make people root for golfers, is when they do actually talk about the pain outside the ropes as opposed to just the shots they hit inside?
Absolutely. And what we saw yesterday from Joel made me rethink my position. I throughout this controversy, and it's not just Morikawa, right? There are other big names who've blown off interviews when things don't go well. My previous standpoint had been, hey, this is a little overblown. From a media standpoint, if you need a quote or a soundbite to do your job, you might not be doing your job correctly. But Dahmen is the counter because he showed us why it's important to talk after a round. As you guys mentioned, he's already a fan favorite. Trust me, I know. Sometimes I'll follow him just to hear "You're the man, Joel" cheers and act like they're actually for me and not him. So he has definitely been a fan favorite. And what we saw yesterday, facing the music afterwards, would have been very easy and understandable to run and hide. I think it only engenders more empathy. It also reminds us these guys are people, not robots that we are watching. Afterwards, he mentioned he learns more from defeat than victory. I think we learned more from Dahmen in that moment than we would have if he ended up holding out and winning the tournament yesterday.
How about you, Lav, from your perspective, someone who writes prolifically, features, game stories? What was the value of Joel Dahmen's post-round chat yesterday?
Yeah, I don't think that players necessarily owe us anything as media members, but it's often instructive and illuminating when they do talk. And everyone goes back to the Colin Morikawa incident, what happened at Bay Hill, blowing off the media. That happens in golf. That happens in other sports as well. But it's also worth remembering that Colin Morikawa met with reporters 2 days later at TPC Sawgrass, and he was fantastic in detailing what went wrong on Sunday, what has been sort of dogging him the last couple of years, why he can't get over the hump, the process that he's going through. And I thought Joel Dahmen on Sunday, sort of in real time in Puntacana, did the exact same thing. How he was feeling, what he was thinking over the shots, how long this is going to take him to get over it. It just gives fans a greater understanding of these players and what makes them tick. And I'm grateful and appreciative of players like Joel Dahmen who can do that, 5 minutes after signing the scorecard and bogeying his last 3 holes to kick away the tournament. I realize not every player can do that. And I think that's why some PGA Tour players probably do deserve some sort of grace. And I think it's worth a conversation whether there should be some sort of cooling off period. But the players who can do it and sort of process that shock and disappointment in real time, I think as golf observers, we're all better off for it.
Joel, I want to follow up on this, and I asked this question with a bit of trepidation because I'm often interviewing them after their rounds, good and bad. Should there be a 10-minute cooling off period? I covered the NBA, covered the NFL, the locker room's closed, then they open it up to the media. Should there be a little bit longer? And I'm not sure I want this myself because I need to talk to them sometimes before the top of the hour, for example. But do you think there should be a grace period of time for them to reflect and cool off?
Personally, if they want it, I think we give them that grace. I actually think it's to their detriment, though. I think you get the more raw emotion immediately after it happened. Also, you never know if an agent at that point can intervene and, maybe tell them what to say. I think getting them right after whatever just happened had happened, we get a truer sense of how they're feeling and who they are as people. So certainly from a mental health standpoint, I would, whatever they need to feel comfortable talking, give it to them. But I actually think it's better for them if they talk immediately after the moment.